Now, there's always been rumors surrounding Dino Bravo's death, with people even speculating that it might have been a robbery gone wrong, but unfortunately it gets way deeper than that. And the question everybody always asks is, was it a mob hit? And the answer is yes. Dino came up wrestling in the 1970s, joining the WWF, making his debut at a TV taping in Philadelphia on January 31st, 1978. Being coined the name Canada's Strongest Man, later changing into the World's Strongest Man. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Hey, what can I say? Vince is a businessman. It was said that Dino was so strong that he could lift 700 pounds, so it's safe to say that him and Mark Henry deserved that name. But things started to take a turn when Dino's career started to fade. Facing financial struggles, Dino finally gave into some advice, but not just any advice, his late uncle's wishes. His late uncle, who happened to be the infamous former boss, Vincenzo Catroni, also known as Vic Catroni, a man who violently took control of the underworld. He founded the mob in Montreal, Canada. But here's where the confusion comes in. They weren't related by blood. Dino married Vic's niece, which made him his nephew. Connection was irregardless. But Vic's brother, Frank Catroni, who became boss after his brother, actually did a little pro wrestling himself before leaving and becoming part of the crime family. Some of the family activities included racketeering, trafficking of substance, gambling, extortion, loan sharking, and other violent crimes. Now you might ask, why would Dino get involved in this type of lifestyle if he was a star? And the only answer to that is, I really don't know why. If you ask some people close to Dino, they'll tell you he resisted the lifestyle at first, but the amount of debt he incurred to keep his lavish lifestyle going, he eventually gave in and started working for the mafia, trafficking illegal cigarettes. And boy, was he good at it, actually becoming successful. Doesn't sound that bad, huh? It's just cigarettes, right? Wrong. Anytime you're making money with other people, fast money at that, some type of traumatizing event is bound to take place. Unfortunately for Dino, that's what happened. People in the organization felt Dino was being cocky and felt untouchable, being as though Vic was his uncle. Feeling protected, he started doing things on his own, making deals and doing things he was warned not to do, partnering with Indian tribe leaders who patrol the best smuggling points along the St. Lawrence River. The funny thing about that is, his new partners were actually big wrestling fans, milking his low-level celebrity status for what it was worth. And they actually built a good trusting relationship. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember that protection I talked about that Dino had because of his Uncle Vic? Well, that went away shortly after his Uncle Vic passed away of cancer. Not long after, Dino arranges a shipment to be sent to a warehouse owned by made men. The shipment contained hundreds of cases of contraband cigarettes and tobacco, worth about $400,000 on black market. The shipment also included white illegal substance, all that Dino was supposed to be overseeing, being as though he's the one that arranged everything. Dino was supposed to move the shipment, but instead it sat for days. So the warehouse ends up getting raided. Everybody gets busted but Dino. But Dino put the blame on the people that were supposed to pick up the shipment, yelling at them over the phone, saying that they should have grabbed it when he told them to. So the blame for the raid landed squarely on Dino, who the family felt fairly or unfairly failed to cover his tracks. There were also rumors of Bravo's involvement in a similar bust that seized nearly 500 kilos, as well as speculation that he may have been skimming money off the top from the family. Whether it was one thing or a combination is unknown. But Bravo knew he was in trouble, and the once tough, cocky guy was scared. But when you hear death knocking at your door, knowing what's on the other side, you have every right to bet. In the weeks before his death, he confided in friends that he believed his days were numbered. Man, was he right. 5 days after the police sting, Bravo's home watching a hockey game while his wife and daughter gets ready to leave for ballet. Now right here is when a couple questions come to mind. When she left, did she leave the door unlocked? Because it doesn't make any sense if Dino felt his life was in danger and his days were numbered for him to leave the door unlocked. The Canadian police even said there was no sign of forced entry. But anyway, not long after, he's greeted by two unknown gentlemen who calmly walk in the front door. One of the men pulled out a .22, the other a .38. Dino was hit a total of 17 times, 7 to the head, 10 to the torso. Now, just imagine what that scene looked like. He took 7 bullets to the head. Let's just say he had to be real personal, some type of hatred there. But when his wife Diane returned, she found Bravo unresponsive in a recliner, still holding the remote. It was said that the police were certain of the mob's involvement, but were unable to make any arrests. Diane, his wife, said he trusted too many people. All of a sudden, we have friends I never seen. Also recalls telling them that he didn't have the right to put their family in danger, days leading up to his death. But the only question I have is, why would a widow who just lost her husband make those type of statements? And how was it that she just happened to leave just in time before everything took place? I'm not saying she had anything to do with it, but what I'm saying is, did she happen to know about it? Or was she covering for her family? Even though Frank sent the hit, it was said that he didn't want to do it. But Dino disrespected the guys. Catroni ended up paying for the whole funeral. His death was front page news in Montreal. Now, as far as the cops saying they couldn't arrest anybody, I can't see it being because of lack of evidence, being as though the shooters left the handguns and shell casings at the scene. This whole case is a little eerie and weird if you ask me. After moving out and selling the house, Dino's wife remarried and moved on. Some would say Dino Bravo was one of the most underrated heels of all time. But unfortunately for Dino, I think what prevented him from being inducted into the WWE's Hall of Fame is his connection to the mob. I mean, the FBI did consider the Catroni family a branch of the Bonanno family of New York. With the WWE being indicted themselves in the past, I doubt they wanted anything to do with that. But I think we could all learn from this and see. Some people will call him stupid. Some will say he was in over his head. Some will say he was just trying to survive. But I think we could all agree that we could all learn something from this situation.